On the night of September 18, units of the Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine attacked the logistics hub of the 810th Separate Marine Brigade of the Russian Federation, located in the Kursk region. The Special Operations Forces reported this. The strike hit an enemy supply base, ammunition depots, and a hidden location for the brigade's weapons and military equipment. As the Special Operations Forces emphasized, the 810th Marine Brigade, which is stationed in Sevastopol, temporarily occupied by Russia, is actively participating in offensive operations in the North Slobozhansk direction. In addition, the brigade's personnel were involved in committing war crimes, in particular the execution of Ukrainian prisoners of war. The North Slobozhansk direction is a direction that the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine introduced into its reports on June 16, 2025, due to the activation of Russian occupation forces in the border areas of the Sumy region. Starting June 16, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine will report on the progress of military operations in another area, Severo-Slobozhansk, in its daily reports, the General Staff said in a statement. On June 26, Ukrainian Armed Forces Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky stated that, based on the results of May and June, the enemy's wave of attempts at a summer offensive from Russian territory is faltering. As of this week, the advance of Russian troops into the border regions of Sumy Oblast has been halted, and the line of contact has been stabilized, the Commander-in-Chief reported. The port of Primorsk in the Leningrad region, a key hub for Russian oil exports, has resumed operations following a Ukrainian drone attack, Bloomberg reports. The outlet recalled that as a result of the Ukrainian drone attack on the port of Primorsk, 3 pumping stations transporting oil to Ust Luga were damaged. Oil shipments at the port itself were temporarily halted. Primorsk hosts Russia's largest oil terminal on the Baltic Sea, from which 970,000 barrels of Urals crude per day were shipped in August. Recall that on the night of September 12, SBU drones struck Russia's largest oil-loading port on the Baltic Sea, Primorsk. Fires broke out at the port and at a pumping station, and oil shipments were suspended. Estimated daily losses to the Russian budget from the halt in exports could reach up to $41 million. Primorsk is a key hub for loading Russia's shadow fleet, which allows the country to bypass international sanctions and sell oil on external markets. Around 60 million tons of oil pass through the port each year, generating approximately $15 billion for Russia. Weekly seaborne shipments of Russian oil in the week ending September 14 averaged 3.18 million barrels per day, 934,000 barrels per day less than in the previous 7 days, according to vessel tracking data compiled by the agency. This is the sharpest drop in shipments since July 2024. Russian oil exports from Primorsk fell to approximately 730,000 barrels per day, and from Novorossiysk to 647,000. Shipments from Ust Luga have to approximately 313,000 barrels per day. Bloomberg says that a series of Ukrainian drone attacks have severely damaged Russia's oil exports, cutting Moscow's oil revenues by more than $300 million in a week. In total, 22.26 million barrels were shipped, which is significantly lower than the previous week's figure of 28.79 million barrels. The decline in exports has also had a direct impact on Moscow's revenues, with revenues falling to $1.28 billion from $1.66 billion a week ago. Bloomberg previously reported that drone attacks on oil refineries and port infrastructure could force Russian oil companies to reduce oil production. The destruction of refineries reduces their ability to process crude, and previously, excess barrels were exported. However, under the new conditions, oil storage capacity could quickly become full, forcing them to reduce production. President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday said that Ukrainian forces have liberated 160 square kilometers of lands in a counteroffensive in eastern Donetsk region. Since the beginning of the operation, our forces have already liberated 160 square kilometers, and over 170 more square kilometers have been cleared of the occupiers. Any group of occupiers trying to enter the area is being destroyed, Zelensky said on September 18. The counteroffensive has been carried out in Pokrovsk and Dobropilya direction of Donetsk region. Moreover, Ukrainian troops have captured nearly 100 Russian prisoners, liberated 7 settlements and cleared 9 more settlements of Russian presence so far, Zelensky revealed. He said Russia has lost more than 2,500 troops over the past few weeks in Pokrovsk direction and 1,300 of these soldiers have been killed, adding that the counterattack continues in Donetsk. Ukraine is fully and justly defending its positions, its land. This is a heroic defense. I am proud of our warriors, proud of our people, Zelensky stressed. Furthermore, the Ukrainian leader resumed his call for more military assistance from Kiev's Western partners and urged the strengthening of sanctions in order to pressure Russia to reach a peace deal to end the war. His statement comes amid increased counterattacks by Ukrainian troops that have been mainly in defensive position along the front line in east of Ukraine in the past 2 years. In early September, Ukrainian troops captured the village of Zarikn in Donetsk region and cleared 2 more villages, Novoekonomikn and Yudakny, in embattled Pokrovsk in the same region. Zelensky this week warned that Russia was preparing for 2 major counteroffensive operations for the autumn. A Ukrainian M124 HIMARS, high-mobility artillery rocket system, has destroyed a Russian defense system and troops in eastern part of the front. The HIMARS system provided to Ukraine by the US, destroyed a Russian Bucha M2 surface-to-air defense system worth $25 million. Video published on Telegram app shows the moment of the strike. The Bucha M2 system designed to shoot down aircraft, cruise missiles, helicopters, and other aerial targets is widely used in Russia's war of invasion in Ukraine. In yet another operation, the Ukrainian HIMARS delivered a strike on an assembly point of Russian assault troops on motorcycles in eastern Donetsk region. The footage of the operation shows Russian troops seeking to escape from the Ukrainian attack. The strike delivered from HIMARS was followed by explosions and fire in the area. The US-made HIMARS missile systems have been used as an important strike weapon in the Ukrainian